Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new episode of Une Sports, episode 71. And you're joined with your host, Mike and Richie. And you can always listen to the show on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. You just got to type Une Sports, and the written credential is going to be in the descriptions. If you can't understand what Une Sports is, but like it may be confusing if you don't speak French, but we're gonna have the credentials. Today we're gonna have several topics for you, some good topics. On today's show, we're gonna start with talking about the recent trade of the Knicks and the Raptors. We're gonna transition to the Warriors, their current state right now. And also we're gonna talk about the Suns issues. By the Suns, I'm talking about Phoenix Suns. And to end the show, we will talk about Manchester United and their new, what did I say, like part-time owner.
Yeah, minority.
He's gonna handle
owner.
the minority, but he said that he's gonna handle the football aspect of it.
Yep.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
Correct.
So we'll be back to start the show, episode 71. All right, welcome back to a new episode of Une Sports. I hope everyone is still enjoying their holidays, and if you don't celebrate your holiday, I hope you had some good time off with your family and rested, and to start 2024 fresh. Mike, what's going on? How was your holidays?
I mean, considering I work Christmas, it was annoying, but I wish everyone had a really, really good Christmas, and hopefully, everyone's gonna go into the new year healthy, strong, mentally ready for 2024, man. Last episode of the year for us.
I know, right? That's a major, like going to the next year strong mentally. Anything else, like refresh, and then you start the 2024 with some nice goals and
100%
fresh mental, like yeah. So you're currently watching the game right now. Nottingham Forest is 2-1 against Man United. Goals by Morgan Gibbs White and Nicholas Dominguez, and for Man United, Rashford, because I did ask him to score for my fantasy team. The games earlier, there was it seems that Luton Town is always giving everyone a run for their money. Like especially top teams. Luton Town, they lost against Chelsea 3-2 for some quick bites. Crystal Palace won against Brentford 3-1. Manchester City beat Sheffield United 2-0, and Aston Villa with a last-minute penalty, they won 3-2 against Burnley, and Wolves beat Everton 3-0. Those are the current games for weeks 20, and tomorrow there's going to be more games. Arsenal is going to play against Fulham, Tottenham is going to play against Bournemouth, Liverpool is going to play against Newcastle, and West Ham is going to play against Brighton. So, those are the remaining games for week 20. Now let's actually transition to the trade that you said you don't really like that trade. Let me give some context of the trade itself. Oh my God, I had it in front of me. What did I do? Well, the trade involves RJ Barrett and Immanuel Quickley being traded to the Raptors, the
Correct.
Toronto Raptors. The Knicks are getting OG Anunoby and also getting Malachi Flynn, and as well, if I'm not mistaken, they're getting a center. Let me see.
Patrick Achiuwa.
Yep, that's correct. And also, the Knicks are sending a 2024 second round draft pick. You off the bat, you said you didn't like it.
Yeah.
What's your reaction about it? Like, why don't you like that trade?
I mean, I think one of our friends told us that for one, OG is on the last year of his deal. Um, I don't know if you're able to check his contract situation on Sports Track to see
Yep, I'm
if
gonna
that's
get you right now.
actually
Hmm.
correct. So that's one. Two, I think OG is just as inconsistent of a player as RJ Barrett is. Probably much better shooter. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Probably definitely a better cutter. Um, if we're talking about one-on-one defending, I don't think he's maybe as good as RJ Barrett is. He's a good defender, but I think RJ Barrett is just as good of a defender. If I'm not, I don't know, man. Like for me personally, I don't really like it. And the other thing is that like I really put like in any game, like well not any game, and like when you're playing like football and basketball, I really put a premium on left footed or left handed players, and RJ Barrett is a left handed player. I don't know, man. I just there's a premium on that. I think that people don't really appreciate as much. They don't come good left-handed players just don't grow on trees, man. They just
Hmm.
don't grow on trees, and I really like what RJ Barrett can do. So I don't know, man. Like he's a good rebounder. He's young. Like I mean, he's playing in at the Garden, the Knicks, so there's a lot of pressure. I think
Yep.
for him personally, I think that's a good trade for him. He's going back to Canada. He's gonna be playing
Oh,
at home.
Canada.
He's gonna be playing no pressure. So I think he's gonna thrive, man. I think he's gonna thrive in that environment. Yeah, so for me personally, on the from a Knicks standpoint, if I'm a Knicks fan, I don't really like that trade unless there's something else coming further down the line. I didn't know they had Flynn in the deal, but Flynn is a very good shooter. Don't know if he'll be part of the rotation,
Oh,
but
he has to because we don't have any besides Deuce. We don't have any like backup point guard unless they
yeah.
use Dante as a well. Dante starts, so that's what's make it difficult. Like in the second unit,
Mhm.
usually it's Quickly who handles the basket, but now if Dante starts, Quentin Grimes is not a ball handler, so it has to be either is Deuce gonna insert the how do I call that? Oh my God, I'm
Point
well,
guard.
it's not the point guard. Like like the rotation. Sorry, is
Hmm.
Deuce gonna insert the is gonna enter the rotation, and also Flynn. It depends of who. I'm pretty sure Flynn's gonna be in front of him, but I could see Deuce getting some minutes too until they figure it out the rotation for the bench. Because RJ used to also play with the bench unit because he used to be one of the first guy that gets subbed off for Hart. Like early on, he was the
Hmm.
first person, so he can get some rest and enter the second unit as well. So there's gonna be a lot of figuring out in the second unit. Do I like the trade? I don't, and also I also think that at the end of the day, before I get to my um rent, and he signed through 2024, 2025, Mike. But this season, 2023 is he has a player option worth around
Okay.
19 million. So they're
Okay.
probably gonna pay him most likely. Like they're probably gonna give him 35 million or something like that. But do I like I like I like the factor that he's we needed a wing,
Hmm.
and also he's a good wing defender. Sometimes RJ used to get beat off the dribble too easy, and but at the end of the day, RJ Barrett, there's a lot of things he improved. I always tell you guys that there's a lot of things he improved that people seems to not really pay attention to. He is in a slump, but it's not like a major slump. Like people make it seem like it's one of the worst slump ever, but it is because he's playing, like you said, for the New York Knicks, which has a lot of pressure. So he's gonna thrive in the Raptors. There's not much pressure. The Raptors are below mid right now, so it's gonna give him some time to figure it out and then work on his game with no pressure. And Quickly's gonna do good over there. I don't know if they're gonna pay him after. He's gonna do good, man. No pressure. He's gonna be a good ball handler for them scoring. So right now, Raptors got a good young core. And what happened?
Bruno almost scored, but
Scored. Uh,
yeah.
um, I'm pretty sure they're gonna trade Siakam for more picks or assets, and
Hmm.
hopefully they are top 15 in the draft pick if they keep on losing. So they're gonna be good for the future, man. For the Knicks, is just I think there's gonna be another trade. There has to be another trade there.
Yeah, it has
There
to
has to be
be
another move.
because
I think
I
it's the
just
first move. Um, at the end of the day, would the Knicks are not gonna pay Quickly whatever he's asking between 18 to 25 million. They were not gonna give him that money. So he would have been gone. Probably. I'm not sure. Maybe. Um, RJ Barrett, like you said, is probably the best for him in terms of his like development. He's only 23 years old. OG is 26. Is he gonna when he gets to 26, is he gonna be better where OG is in right now? Probably. It's my best bet. So it is maybe a factor that we want to do something right now. So I don't know who's gonna be the next player to come in. They did not use their first round pick, so they probably gonna use it for another trade.
Mhm.
Um yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it develops if it develops any longer. But as for right
Yeah.
now,
As of right now, the Raptors won the trade, but for the
yeah,
Knicks, you get a wing player like you were asking, a wing defender. The lineup is more like makes more sense. The lineup is more like defensive a little bit, if I can say that. So we're gonna
yeah,
see. We'll
yeah.
see.
Probably provides a little bit more space for
Yeah.
guys like Brunson and Randall to
Hmm.
probably operate because
Hmm.
I feel like even though like he's streaky, I don't think like people really respect RJ's 3-point shot like
They
that.
don't. They don't because
So
it's very like up and down. That's why they
yeah,
don't. Yeah.
yeah. So probably with OG, maybe we'll see a little bit more space for him to operate. So we'll
We'll
see
see.
what happens.
It's one of those waiting games.
Hmm.
All right, next on the docket. What do we have? We have the Warriors, Mike.
Yep.
Your favorite team.
Oh man,
Not
unfortunately.
really?
I mean, I'm a Curry fan. I'm like,
Yeah, I
all
know.
the I know all the LeBron stands, wherever LeBron goes, like they're LeBron, that's their team now.
Yep.
Like I'm a Curry fan. That's all it is. Um, yeah, man, they're 5-2 in their last 7 games. They lost their last 2 games versus the Heat and I can't remember who. Maybe the Clippers.
Hmm.
I can't remember who. I think that yeah, they just lost their last 2 games. But honestly, since Draymond's suspension, the team's been playing well. You
Really?
know,
You
yeah,
think so?
I think so.
Because Kerr said that they're fouling way too much. They're giving a lot of free points and open opponents are setting up their defense. That's the number one issue. Don't you think that it would have been slightly a little better if Draymond is here in
No,
terms of like those
I,
defensive aspects?
I think it would be the same issue.
Same. Okay.
Honestly, I think it would have been the same
Can I ask you
issue.
one more question?
Hmm.
Just well, not a question. I can just give you like some quick bites. Warriors average 114 points per 100 possession when Steph Curry is on the court, and when he's not here, plummets to 109. So he needs help,
A hundred
like you
percent.
said, like you've
Uh,
always said. Like you seen your king. Like
yeah, man. I wish I wish the pairing of Damian Lillard with Giannis would have been Curry and Giannis, but
I know,
I
or
still
even a
love
KD and Giannis. I mean KD and Curry
yeah
again.
for sure. I love Dame, but that's the pairing I really
You want it.
Rather have seen. But yeah, man, like I mean, the whole situation with the Warriors is that like yeah, what it boils down to is the fact that um Curry needs help. There's just no doubt about it. That's why I
So you
kind of
think their
like
issue is offense, not defense?
they have
Or
both.
they're
They
both?
have
Okay.
they have both issues because they're small. They're a small team. Like when Draymond is there, like with Kuminga in the lineup, it gives them more of an athletic presence. But Kuminga is more of a three than a four, really.
Mm-hmm.
So they're small. Um, Klay Thompson is not what he once was, like on the defensive end. Curry is still Curry. Uh, and most teams in the NBA are very versatile now. They're very quick. They have a lot of shooters. They have bigs that could dribble drive. So I think it's a little bit tougher for them, man.
And arguably the third best shooter or scorer, which should have been
Andrew
either
Wiggins.
yeah, is in a slump also.
Hmm.
And you can also argue that someone like Chris Paul could also um get some scoring, but because of age and also like that's not really his game anymore. But like what happened? if,
It's
if 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 I'm saying this all the time, guys, it's just Mike always giving some reaction. Uh, I'm thinking like Man United scored, but
nah.
almost. Now I have a question. Kaminga said that it's not his decision, but he almost feels like he deserves more minutes. Do you think in those moments right now, maybe if you give him more minutes, it kind of solves a little problem in the offense?
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why they've been playing better, and they won
Yeah.
5 games in a row once Draymond went out with the
So they
suspension.
can't guard him.
Is the fact that Kuminga was inserted in the lineup, and I think that's one of the things that's so frustrating about Steve Kerr. It's like when like you got guys like pundits like when they won against the Boston Celtics and Kuminga started getting his ascendance and Jordan Poole started getting his ascendance. And, they were like, oh my God, this team is going to have another run again because they have they have the mix of the vets with the young
With the
guys.
youngins. Yeah.
And they need to let the youngins go. And, Kerr is so frustrating when it comes to that because I don't know, like he's frustrating because he doesn't let the guys run. But at the same time, I understand his position because this is a team that, like, it's a dynasty team. They have a window and they need to maximize.
Yep.
They need to maximize in the window. So he
You're right.
cannot afford his young guys to learn. He needs them to come in and just be good.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I think that's the reason why, like, I'm gonna say it. It might be a hot take, but I think Wiseman was a good player, man. I think Steve Kerr ruined him
Hmm.
because he just didn't let him cook.
Explain why you
I
think that
I
Steve
I think
Kerr ruled him.
I think he ruined him in the fact that he just didn't give him the opportunity to make mistakes. And when you're in that team and there's so much pressure and you need the guy to be good and he never played college ball because he was injured. So well, he wasn't injured, but I think he like there was something like he was just kicked out of college basically if I remember correctly. So he comes in at 19 and all these vets they're talking to him. They're like, "Yo, you watch the game. He doesn't play his first year." So they're always having him watch the game and it's like, "Yo, you see this is where you're going to rotate. This is where the lob is going to go to you because you're this athletic big. You're going to be a lob threat. This is how we used to play with Bogut. This is how we used to play with Festus Ezeli, et cetera, et cetera. This is where you see Loon. Loon plays in the dunker spot. He gets easy buckets, but he's not as athletic as you. And then he gets on the court and he's getting beat. He's getting beat defensively because everybody's running by him. Uh, because obviously he's a rookie. He's getting beat on pump fakes and he doesn't really understand his positioning. And now you're pulling him from the game. Then you send him to the G League. You bring him back and then you send him to the G League. So, like, now his confidence is ruined because he's in this dynasty team. He thinks he's going to be playing with these all-time greats and he's going to contribute. now his confidence is just shot, bro. Like it's just done. So and then until like you eventually just end up trading him. So I think like Steve Kerr and the Warriors organization have a lot to do with that because like the guy is like 7'1". He's super athletic. He's a lefty. He has a smooth jump shot. Like I think there's a good player there, but like it's done for him because his
Yeah.
confidence is shot. Um, so Steve Kerr has a lot to do with that. Moses Moody, I think he's a very good player. He's getting some rotation minutes now, but I think Kerr holds back some of these players.
I think I had that conversation in the chat with that saying that the transition with the young guys with the vets has not been great in the
Mm-hmm.
past 2 3 years. Even though like it is true, like it's not like those young guys were like legendary and stuff like that. Besides probably Jordan Poole that had something that was going well for him, like he was a great shooter. But
Mm-hmm.
it seems that they never had that one person that breaks through the lineup and be like, okay, that's the young guy that's gonna help us. It was Jordan Poole, but they ended up trading him. So there has to be a better game management, if I have to say, about the those young guys. I kind of agree with you with that.
But yeah, so with all that being said, when I was looking at it and I was looking at the situation, and we could probably transition into like other scenarios, but I had this thought in mind, and for anybody out there listening, indulge me, like get in my crazy mind for a second, and listen to what I'm going to propose. I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns. Yes, Bradley Beal hasn't really played with them yet, but I was looking at it. I was like, all right, this team doesn't really have an identity, and I won't get into the KD talk, but I just don't think KD is that leader. I just don't think KD is that leader. That's gonna galvanize his team. That's gonna rally the troops, and it's like, yo, we need to do X, Y, and Z. I think KD just wants to hoop.
Yep, just want to
So
hoop.
he just wants
He
to
said
hoop.
it himself. I just want to
You
hoop,
know,
bro.
So I was looking at it. I was like, all right, this team has a defensive problem. They have an identity issue. They have a toughness issue. And I was like, you know what? I thought Devin Booker was going to be good at the point, but it doesn't seem like it's really clicking at the point for him.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, all right, yeah, Bradley Beal hasn't really played with them, but you know what? I've seen enough. How about they're like, you know what? My bad.
My
My
bad.
my bad, CP. Get on the phone call with the Warriors and say, like, yo, hey, Mike Dunleavy Jr., check this out, man. You know what? I think we want CP back. Clay's not looking so hot. You know what? Steph needs a little bit of help. We need some toughness. How about we take CP and Draymond off your hand because he's a head case anyways, and we'll give you Bradley Beal, and let's throw Yuta Watanabe in there like for front court depth for Mutu.
For the troubles.
Mutu. I think they could work something out. Obviously, like, they'll probably want another ball handler. So I think the Warriors in that situation, they probably ask for a guy like Eric Gordon. But
Hmm.
what's funny
He's
is
been
that,
complaining that he's not
yeah,
getting the touches.
and he's getting touches now. Like, I mean, you look at last night. I mean, Bradley Beal is back in the lineup. You look at
Yeah,
last
they
night. He
played well
shot,
last night. They've
uh, you
shot
know,
like 60% in the field goal.
yeah.
20, yeah.
He had 21 points, 7 of 12 shooting for 3-pointers. So that means they had a lot of space to operate last night. So we're giving CP away. They probably needed a ball handler. So Eric Gordon to bolster the bench in that situation. But what's funny is that, the guy that's going through a slump right now, I went on Twitter today and they were talking about, the Warriors being open to Andrew Wiggins trade.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I clicked on the Woj tweet in the comments, somebody had a trade scenario. They had Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins to the Golden State Warriors to the Phoenix Suns for KD instead.
Yeah,
You
okay.
know,
Yeah,
for,
okay. But I'm not sure like there's not gonna be no trade for KD. I think it's
nah,
people just bullying
yeah,
some
for
stuff
sure,
saying that, oh,
for
he's
sure,
frustrated. It's nah, like
for sure. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what the Warriors could do. Honestly, I mean, they obviously, yes, they could trade Andrew Wiggins right now, but
tighten up their
in
defense and get a, like you said, another score.
in the slump that they are, I don't know, like
You saw Curry and Clay last night. Yeah, when they lost, like it's bad.
they're frustrated. Steph is frustrated. They haven't playing well. I haven't really seen Steph that demonstrative in all my in all my years of watching.
Yeah.
Like he's pissed at these
Oh
dudes,
yeah.
bro. He's
Yeah. You
like,
remember like there was a game when there was a timeout. I can't remember what was said in the bench.
yeah,
He's
he's
like,
like, yo, can we get a effing stop?
yeah, 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 yeah. He was. I'm like, damn, Steph had enough. But Mike, are you ready
Uh,
for a quiz?
mhm.
You ready for a quiz?
Go ahead,
You sure?
test me.
All right. What was Steph's draft position?
Uh,
Since you're a Steph Curry.
he was seventh, right? Clay
All
was
right.
11th.
All
Yeah,
right. You good.
Clay.
You all
Yeah,
right.
Clay was 11, and yeah, Steph was 7. Yeah, Clay was 11 out of Washington. Steph was 7
Who
out of
was second in
Davidson.
that draft? And that's the
Ooh.
last quiz.
Okay, can you tell me what year he was drafted? Can I get
2009. I can tell who's first, but I can't tell who's second. You know who was first.
KD?
Nah.
No, yeah, no,
You know who was
KD.
first.
Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blake Griffin was first.
2009. Who was second?
Holy shit, I cannot remember. Can I get
Let
the
me look it up.
college? Can I get the college?
UConn. You
Oh,
want you want
Hashim Tabit.
Oh, you got it.
Oh,
Oh, you
oh,
got it. You
oh,
good.
oh my
I was like, yeah,
God.
he's not gonna get that. I'm gonna
Nah,
get him.
nah. I mean, I had to ask for the hints though. I had to ask for the
Yeah, I
hints.
mean it's decent hints because like I feel like
Listen,
half my
man.
yeah.
I gotta give you Richie. You're the best at quizzes, man. Like Richie be sending these like we got the sports group chat. Richie be sending these little pictures in the group
Yeah,
chat to see
who's that?
to test their knowledge, and
You
it's
remember when I
so.
got you with Zenden? I'm like, they're
Oh
not gonna
yeah,
know who
yeah.
that
I
is.
I definitely forgot about him.
It's like that's what I'm saying. I'm like soccer is crazy because there's so many players that are like Zenden was a good player. Like he's not
Yeah,
gonna be remembered because there's so many good players and so many players coming in after retirement. It's like you gotta do something special. And I see why Ronaldo's complaining every now and so. Like if it's like yo, he want. I mean, Ronaldo's gonna be remembered. Like there's
yeah.
there's no argument about that. I see why people want to do special things to be remembered because like it's very hard to remember players. Like who would have remembered Zenden from Liverpool? I
Yeah.
had to go, but I'm like, let me go see the roster they won champions. I'm like, oh my god, Zenden, I remember him. But yeah, he's actually playing for a team named Pazi Basketball Club in Tanzania.
To beat.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
wow.
still playing.
Okay. Good for him, I guess.
Yeah. All right, let's actually do
uh,
the great transition that you were talking
uh,
about, like sending players to the Suns.
mhm.
What about the Suns? Like you were saying, like they were Basura. Why?
But that's the thing. Like, I mean, we don't have the huge sample size. I mean, Bradley Beal is back now, so I'll
Yeah,
give
they
him.
haven't played. I think they played probably 3 games together.
Yeah, yeah.
The
So I'll
Knicks,
give.
it was like half of a game because he hurt his ankle.
Yeah. So I'll give him. I'll give him until the trade deadline to see
Yeah.
what this team kind of materializes into.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I just don't think this team has like the character
They don't. They
to
don't. They
to
don't
to
have like the like you
like
said, like
I like Booker as a player, but seeing him like, in the past two playoffs where they just got destroyed by Luca, um, I just don't think they have the mentality, or they go to the finals and they lose against the Bucks and they can't respond and they don't even take it to game 7. I just don't think they have the mentality, they don't have the character. I think the team is very top heavy. When you trade for players like that, when you break up what makes your team whole, like when you have like, all right, you
Kyle
have,
Bridges.
yeah, you have your athletic wing that could be the 3 and D guy.
You got Johnson.
You have a good center. You have a good bench. Like you got
Yeah.
Cam, you got Peyton, you got these guys coming off the bench. You got
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
solid 6 man, a 7 man, an 8th man. Um, you got good solid rotations. You could go to the playoffs and you could play different styles of
Yep.
basketball. That's what makes a team good. But when you trade for guys like KD and then you go and trade for guys like Bradley
Bradley
Beal,
Beal, it's overdoing it.
and they got
You want
lucky.
some stats?
Go ahead, tell me.
Um, all right. Last 10 games, they won four and lost six. They're ninth right now in the West.
Mhm.
Turnover ratio 15.2, and they're fourth behind. I was kind of surprised they're fourth behind Minnesota. Um, and rebounds per game, they're 15th. Last two games, they actually did better. They're shooting 65% field goal against the Rockets and Charlotte 74.3 compared to the last three games before those games and even like the past month. Um, and also like I wanted to ask you, like you play basketball,
Mhm.
what are the factors that you need to consider to win a game? I have my theory, but like for someone that played the game, like you not for fun, like you were actually playing to win a championship or some stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like what like as a coach or as a player, what are factors that you want to take in consideration to win a ball game?
You want to take care of the basketball, so
Okay.
limiting turnovers. You need to control the board,
Mm-hmm.
so you gotta grab rebounds, and
Okay.
you gotta protect the offensive board, so you can't let your opponents take offensive rebounds off of you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's extremely important. And possession based game. So
Yeah.
if a team is playing fast and putting up a lot of shots against you, that's something that you got to consider. And yeah, man, those are like two of the most important aspects of winning basketball games. From anybody's perspective, like the offense is something like you develop with chemistry and with
Mm-hmm.
talent. And there's no doubt there's a lot of talent on the Phoenix Suns on the in the front in the starting five at least. But those are the two main things I would say.
You actually
And
answered my question because
mm,
like I mean, actually, yeah, it was a question, but you actually answered the stats questions because, like, you're looking at, like you said, take care of the ball. Turnover ratio 15.2 per game. Fourth, you're not gonna win ball games like that. You just um allowing the opponent to get extra possession and points. Rebounds, they're not doing very great on rebounds. They're 15th. You're allowing opponents to get second chances, and you know how those second chances goes. It could be hurtful sometimes
yeah.
that answered like when you say rebound and shoot efficiently. Like it's not like they're not shooting perfectly. It's probably their offense. It's their offense is almost similar as the Knicks offense. Like, well, Knicks are doing better now sharing the basketball, but sometimes their offense is very stagnant. I was watching the fourth quarter against the Knicks when they played December 15th just to see how they're doing because there was a article saying that how bad they are in the fourth quarter. Let me see how like they're losing those games. It is also like it's the same, like very stagnant offense. KD gets his turn, Devin Booker gets his turn. A lot of turnovers, like lazy basketball sometimes. I was watching a possession where um Brunson, the defender that was guarding Brunson, I think it was Grayson Allen went under the screen. You don't go under the screen against Brunson. You allow him to shoot the three. That could be a hurtful there was a mismatch Bronson took against Nasir Little and transition buckets. Too fast for him. Shimmy out. You out. What else again? Like a couple weird turnovers. Like there was a turnover that what's the center name? Nurkic. He was bringing the ball and then he didn't feel the presence of Brunson coming behind him and took the ball away from him. That's lazy basketball. You got to be aware. And also, that's not only him, it's communication. You got to let your partner be aware that there's a player coming, like take care of the ball. So those are like those are points that just were not in their advantage and making them lose ball games. So they got to do better in those aspects. And it's exactly what you said. Taking care of the basketball, you got to do better rebounding. You can't allow players like taking offensive rebounds on you and then shooting efficiently. Like they were shooting before in the month of November, they were shooting like around 40, 50. it is still good, but right nowadays it depends on who you're playing. Some teams are just shooting very well. So I don't think it's just shooting more efficiently. I just taking care of basketball, getting better offensive sets and allowing other players to have a feel of the basketball. Because if they're gonna double team Devin Booker or double team KD, you gotta make sure the next man up can create their offense or knocking their shots. If they have not getting any touches, like they're not gonna be able to knock shots randomly like that. But yeah,
100%.
that's my take on them from what I've seen. Like you said, it's not a huge sample size, but when I went back and took a look at the fourth quarter against the Knicks, a couple other games, like from there, like just picking some games to see like how did they lose those games, and
You know what was that's super upsetting and all of that. I mean, because we're getting quotes from other guys like, I mean, Terrence Ross is saying like, they were fine, which is a good quote. They were fine before trading for
oh,
KD.
when he was answering Brandon Jennings saying
Yeah,
that he feels bad for KD.
yeah, I don't know how you could feel bad for KD. Like, dude won 2 championships with the Warriors and
Yeah.
decided to leave Steph Curry because he wasn't getting enough recognition. Boo hoo, wah 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 wah,
All right, man.
cry,
It's not all that. It's not all that. Come on.
cry me a river. But what I would say is that like I don't know who said the quote, but I don't remember who. But like maybe you could remember Richie.
Yeah.
But the quote that pissed me off was uh who I don't know who was talking with who. I think maybe it was on UD's podcast. I don't remember, but they were like, "Yo, on the Celtics, it wasn't KG that was the leader of the one championship that the Celtics won in 2007 since eons ago, whatever." That, oh, it was James Posey that was the leader. I was like, man, if you don't shut the hell, I'm like, yo, James Posey being the
James
leader.
Posey.
Like, come on, man, stop it. Like, I could understand it wasn't Ray
Get
Allen.
some help.
It wasn't Ray Allen or Paul Pierce, but it was KG. It was Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
It was it didn't even have to be Kendrick Perkins, man. But they still had Doc Rivers on the team. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
leave.
They have, yeah.
Telling me that
James Posey.
James
Yeah,
Posey
alright.
was the leader on that team. Like, get out of here, man.
Now you're gonna tell me Big Baby Davis too? Come on, like, yeah.
Like, nah, Eddie House was
Eddie House was it.
Eddie House was the leader in that locker room. Like, yeah, come on, man, stop it. But yeah, man, it's like, it's Frank Vogel that coaches the Phoenix Suns. You got KD, you got Booker, you got Bradley Beal, you got Nurkic. Like, you're looking top down, and it's like you're like, who's the guy, bro? Like, it's Grayson Allen? It's hothead, maybe racist Grayson Allen.
Yeah, the team is kind of lacking some identity, and like you saw, like there was a turnover they had, and then there was a quick transition bucket, and then Devin Booker was pissed. He's like, "Yo, guys got to get back." So there has to be character. Like you said, someone like Draymond Green could build a character for that team. And that people are gonna say, okay, what do you need Draymond Green for? Like he makes a huge difference in certain teams like that. You might not need a lot more scoring anymore because you already have KD, Devin Booker, and a couple other guys that can knock the shot like Gordon or Grayson Allen and stuff like that. Just plugging in someone like Draymond Green could change it a lot. Like especially in the fourth quarter, like when turnovers are getting massive or um people are not really taking in consideration of like mismatches or stuff like that, or like lazy play, like or not securing the rebounds, like you said. Like Draymond Green he's gonna let you know about that, and he's not gonna have a good mouth saying that. Pause.
100%. And the other thing is that like he's a good ball handler too. So
Yeah, so he could take some pressure off a couple
you know.
guys. Yeah, because I don't like seeing KD handling the ball. Like it's a lot of turnovers from that. Because once you put pressure on him physically, you're gonna see a lot of turnovers. That reminded me of Brooklyn versus Celtics when they lost 4-0. They put so much physicality on him. That pumped so much turnovers. Like Grant Williams was just killing him. Like bro, like. But yeah, so it was a good talk about the Suns.
Yep.
All right.
You know,
So
just to
yeah.
say, I
Hmm.
don't think we don't think the Suns are going to win a championship
You don't
anytime
say, Mike.
anytime soon.
No, really. They're not gonna win no championship. I already Xing them out on that list.
Not this year, at
Unless they do
least.
something very strange and then
Yeah,
that builds the like rearrange the team.
yeah.
I don't see them winning no championship. They might even knock down the first round. Um, let's go to the last topic of the day, Mike. Let's talk about your Man United. There's been some changes. Even though they lost today, but there are some changes coming in, and you're gonna tell me if it's positive or negative, what you expect from those changes. Um, Sir Jim Ratcliffe,
Mm-hmm.
founder of founder of
Ineos
Ineos. Sorry,
Sports Group.
if people wonder what Ineos is a global chemical company who also supports many sports like F1, sailing, cycling, football, rugby, and running. And then you might know, I'm not sure if you know Eliud, the distance runner.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, you might know him by face.
Okay.
I might butcher his name a little bit, but it's Eliud Kip Kipchog. He's a famous distance runner. He's
Okay.
also had the support from them. So Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he bought 25% stake in Man United and also gonna take over Football Matters
Mm-hmm.
with a deal with the Glazers family. Also bring a guy named Dave. I'm not sure if you know Dave Brailsford. He's also bringing him. But one good positive I think about that, um, him taking over the football, he has a little experience from Nice.
Mm-hmm.
He took over Nice in 2019. He bought them for $100 million. So you might be familiar with Nice, Mike, and also some players like he bought Kefren Turam,
Yep.
Mofi. He also brought some guys, some English guys.
Esper
What's the
Schmeichel.
and then also Barkley.
Yep.
So it has some, and also he bought Dolberg as well. Some players it hasn't worked out, but like a guy like Mofi and Kefren, it worked out now. Like you see players like this, he could. When I'm saying working out, also he works out for the squad, but also when you're looking at guys like Mofi and Kefren Turam, at any given moment he can sell them for a little profit.
Yep.
He did had a couple profit. He sold Gui to Ren for a profit. Um, so he also bought Clivert Jr. It didn't work out, but it's a guy that's out. He's actively so you're gonna see some. He's gonna give some support to Ten Hag. It's some trades are not gonna work. Some transfers are gonna work, but it's at least it's someone that knows the game. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who's gonna be the sporting director specifically, but it seems Ten Hag is enthusiastic to work with them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a weird deal. A lot of people are kind of confused about it, really, but 25% stake, a lot of people are speculating maybe, there's a pathway to actually full ownership, like controlling ownership
Mm-hmm.
of the
Mm-hmm.
club. Don't know when that will happen, but um, full control ownership of the club would be 51% basically.
Yep.
So, he's at 25% now. So we don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, he
Glazer's like,
has,
yeah, not yet.
yeah, but he has sporting control. So whatever happens on the pitch will be reflected on Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So I think that's one of the things that since Alex Ferguson went away, because I mean, obviously Fergie was Fergie, you know, Fergie controlled every aspect of what happened on the pitch. Like he he did the transfers, he got the players he wanted and everything. And since Fergie left, man, it's been chaos. I think
Downhill.
it's been chaos. I think, the only manager that came in afterwards was that really was able to go and pinpoint players that he probably wanted was Mourinho, and they still didn't give him the players that he wanted, and the club still bought players that they wanted for marketing purposes because Manchester United is a marketing club first and foremost. But hopefully under Sir Jim, things are going to change and we're going to get back to actually competing actually on the football pitch because, Manchester United has been an embarrassment. Um, I don't think there's going to be much movement in the next year.
Yeah.
Maybe, with the debacle happening this season, we're actually going to see something happen in the summer where they kind of start offloading players really because there's a lot of players that don't need to be wearing a Manchester United shirt this January. I'm hoping, guys like Sancho is sold off. Like there's like maybe 3 players that leave the club this January. Uh, but yeah, man, I don't know. Like it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with they're saying like he's coming in with maybe like a $300 million in investment towards the infrastructure
Yeah, that's what
infrastructure.
I was saying. Like, cause bringing a guy like I don't know if he's gonna bring Dave Brailsford, but from the brief information that I looked over him, he is in the cycling world, so he might work with like infrastructure of like fitness. How can we improve the culture of fitness and stuff
Mm,
like that? So, like you said, like building this first to see how we can improve the culture, how we attacked, like you said, fitness anything that can like it's like you look at Real Madrid in preseason with Preeters,
mhm.
like stuff like that. How can you start from the get go to get guys prepared, and then from there you can probably analyze. You can transfer is gonna be the very last step. You can just come in and be like, okay, we're gonna get this, we're gonna give this amount of money to for this player and stuff like that. I think he's gonna probably talk with Ten Hag about like players that he might want and stuff like that. So I don't know how it's gonna be set up, but the fact that he has some football credentials may help. It is true that Nice has done better before he came, but now they're second. There are some times in the when he took over, they finished fourth, fifth in European ball, which helps as well. But you learn from your mistakes, you know.
Mhm.
hmm
100%,
Right now, Nice is
100%.
sitting second behind PSG, so some transfers he did in the past is paying off a little bit.
Yeah. So, hopefully like there's so many things wrong about Manchester United right now, man.
Yeah.
The stadium's in shambles.
Hmm.
The training facilities are not good. And you're talking about a team that makes so much money, man.
Yeah.
They spent over $1 billion in transfers over the last maybe 2.5 seasons, and like your stadium is leaking. The stadium looks old and rusted, and your training ground is trash. Your
I
facilities
know,
are
right?
trash. Like so, it's just embarrassing, man. So hopefully we could see changes soon because I mean it's really really depressing to be called a Manchester United fan. You see all the kids crying week in and weekend and week in and week out. They're making kids cry. Like it's just tough, man. And you got
Crazy.
and you got players like Anthony Martial. You got players like Jadon Sancho, just collecting checks, man. Just
I mean, at least Martial is there.
yep,
Nacho's just collecting checks and chilling.
chilling. Yep,
All right, we'll see.
yep.
So going back to the very last segment of the day, it is the end of the year, 2023. I hope it was a good year for some, and if it wasn't a good year for some, for others, I hope that 2024 it's better. Um, and we just wanted to go over. Me and Mike, we just wanted to give our top five 2023 athletes of the year. It is a very, very difficult ranking. But we're gonna try our best. Mike, you want to start first, or you want me to give mine?
I mean, you could start first because,
All right.
like I was telling you, like I really had a tough time because, unfortunately, like for me, like I've like over the last year, I've only really paid attention to 2 sports, and that would be basketball and
Yeah.
soccer. And I know tennis had a huge year,
Yeah.
and I can't really think of the
A
tennis
player.
players I want to mention.
Okay.
because I didn't pay attention, and I love tennis, and so that's
Uh-huh.
really embarrassing on my end.
No, it's
Uh,
not. People got
I
a
know,
life.
I know F1 has been
We're not full-time
really
analysts. We're
F
just sports fanatic.
yeah, F1 has been really
Yeah,
popular this
yep,
year as
yep.
well.
Hmm.
So, all those things, but I can't really mention any players. So I could think of maybe three, and that's about it. And the first one I would say was like it's LeBron James.
Okay.
Uh, Even as a hater, I can acknowledge, when
He did something special. Yeah.
you become the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, man. 20 years in the game, and you're now the top scorer. You're probably going to end up scoring like 40,000 plus points in your NBA career. And I don't think anyone will ever reach that.
Nope.
I don't think that's going to, unless they invent like a four-pointer, a
I
four,
know, but I always said that
like,
if they do that in the future,
uh,
maybe that's when someone can catch up to it. But
yeah,
that's still
but,
difficult.
to have the longevity
You have to love the
and
game too, because a lot of people like in the future, do they really are they gonna love the game to that point that
A
LeBron
hundred
did?
percent, 100%, and
Yeah,
to be like a starter, because when you see it, like I mean, Chris Paul has been in the game just as long, like
yeah.
just 1 year
But he has
or
been hurt a
two,
lot.
one
Yeah.
year or 2 years behind LeBron. But I mean, you look at the last 3 years of his career, he's been more of a leader and a mentor and a ball distributor, even when he was in a starting role in like
Hmm.
OKC or the Phoenix Suns. And now you're looking at him now, like he still has the capacity to probably be a 18-point scorer a game, but he's not really doing it because he's older now.
Yeah.
But LeBron is
LeBron is
about
just casually putting like 30, 38 points, like
exactly.
just
LeBron
for
is
the hell of it.
exactly. He's 39 now. Uh
You saw
and
his Instagram post the other day?
nah. What do
Have you
you?
ever seen that that woman in the plane who was
Yeah.
saying that whatever it is back there, it's not real? You seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
So he posted that, and then
Mhm.
when they turn the camera and they're showing him with as a goat, it's like, bro, it's like
Uh,
you gotta respect that. Like it's
yeah,
like he's been doing this for like a long period of a time, and then certain players when they reach that age and that they're in the bench,
exactly. They're
they're in the
six,
bench.
seven,
They're
seventh,
like
eighth man.
Aslan, yeah.
Yeah,
But
they're
he's like when you look at Lakers, he's probably still the best player in the Lakers uniform. Well, Anthony Davis is doing better this year. Anthony Davis is probably like the best player this year. But you can also argue that LeBron is also doing better this year.
100%.
If they had a better ranking right now, he'd probably be in the MVP conversation too. But yeah, you want me to go first or
Yeah, go ahead. But that was my that
you're
was my
actually
that
right.
was
Like
one of my picks.
my fifth is LeBron James. It was kind of hard. I wanted to put Allen in the mix for fifth, but I went with LeBron James fifth. Fourth, KDB.
Okay.
Three, Max Verstappen. He had a great year. Arguably could be number one too for
F
anyone else.
F1.
F1, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, sweeping. People are saying the Red Bull car is probably jammed a little bit, but I'm not gonna get into that. That's like the Mercedes or Ferrari fans saying that. Number two, Djokovic had a great year to me.
Wow, see, all the things I was thinking about, Richie
Yeah.
had it right on the money. It's like, tennis and F1. That's what's up.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and number
Hmm.
one, I would say for me it was Jokic for getting the championship
Okay.
in a dominant factor also.
Hmm. Okay.
That's my top five athletes.
Uh, for me, the other person would be Shohei Ohtani.
Mm-hmm.
And why I would say that is because that for a guy who has the injury that he had in baseball, which is considered maybe like career ending to lesser extent career altering, still being able to get a 700
100 million
million
contract.
deal when
This is crazy.
you're thinking about like this is probably a discounted price. Like how much money was this guy going to get if he never even had the surgery, bro?
Yeah.
Like, so you're talking what? We're talking a Billy? Like, like, like,
No, baseball for you, man.
like 10 years, $1 billion. Like
You got kids, Mike. If you ever get kids, Mike,
oh,
put them in baseball, man.
baseball,
Yeah.
100%, baseball, 100%.
Give him a bat at 2 years old.
I said that so early. It's like, yo, baseball, you could play it at any shape.
Yeah.
You could play it at
I
any
know, right?
shape.
You'd be
I could,
smoking like
I,
they'd be
I
having
could
that.
have I could have a beer belly playing baseball. Like as long as my arm strength
Yep.
is crazy and I got good hand-eye coordination,
Yeah.
which you can
It's a
work
beer
on,
belly.
which you could work on, baby. Like we could make this happen.
Yeah.
We could
Yeah.
make this happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think Shohei Ohtani got to be in there for me. And then the other person, it's funny that you picked De Bruyne from Man City. I was thinking Rodri.
Okay.
I was thinking
That's a huge
Rodri.
pick. That's a huge
Yeah,
pick.
I was thinking Rodri. Like, with his accomplishment this year and looking at what he means to the team, like whenever Rodri is not playing now, and like
He's an important piece.
he seems like he's actually being more involved in the offense and scoring goals. Like he scored a goal, he scored another goal today as well.
Yeah.
And it seems like his goals are impactful and important, and they come at a right time for his team. I think yes, De Bruyne, like you could see like how much they missed him in the absence. He just missed 4 months of football, and Manchester City hasn't looked the same really. They're still winning games, but they're not top of the league right now. They'll probably end up winning it because Arsenal.
I have a theory that that treble just took a toll on them.
Oh,
It
100%.
broke their mental and their physics. Sorry.
100%. 100%. But, Rodri, it seems like whenever he's absent now, like the team just completely nosedives. Yeah.
Yep.
They did just plummet. Like the team can't perform. And it's like the Busquets effect in Barcelona. Like they're so overly dependent on these.
I saw a post that said that until today they still haven't found Busquets replacement. That's true.
Yeah, man. So yeah, for me, I think that would be maybe my top 3 athletes.
Okay.
Of the year.
That's a decent list. I like it. Yeah. I'm surprised LeBron is in your list, but that's good.
Oh man,
Again,
you could
with
be
the
a
age
hater
getting
all you
wiser.
want. Could be a hater all you want.
Nah, I've seen worse haters, bro. I've seen worse.
There are certain things that you just have.
I've seen guys still sending like weird memes about LeBron. I'm like, come on, we're 2023. Like let it go. Like let it go. Yeah. All right, that was a good one. Yeah. Episode 71. Mike, any final words?
No, man. Just Manchester United ruining my weekend again.
Yeah, so
that's it. But nah.
Nuno's back.
100%. 100%. But yeah, man. Hopefully everyone has a happy New Year, and hopefully, if you went through some tough times throughout 2023, hopefully it's a better 2024, man.
Yeah, I hope everyone is getting some good rest, enjoying their family. It's what it's about. Enjoying their friends. I hope everyone had a good holiday. And then, like I said, if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you still had a great time with your family. And like Mike said, like hopefully 2024 is a better year for some. And then if for others that are still having a great year in 2022, I hope it continues to 2024. And then also making sure everything goes well.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any final words for me specifically? Nope. Hope everyone has a good weekend, man, and enjoy it. Episode 71 available on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Like, subscribe, and I appreciate everyone that takes their time to listen and then also to give us critiques, download, and yeah, also like always make sure like if you have some stuff to say, don't feel shy to interact with me and Mike on Twitter, and the credentials are gonna be in the descriptions. Yeah, thank you very much. Episode 71. Peace.